record on this one. I'll give it a couple of minutes just for it to see if a few more join, and then we'll go over some bits. Cool. God, it's been a mental day today. Cool. So I recognise some new people on here. So the point, I don't know if you saw earlier when I done like a live stream into trial group just now. The point of doing these live session, guys, is for you to pretty much ask questions, and kind of I'll show you, like with this newbie session, I'll show you like the basics of stuff. I might maybe go into a little bit of the deeper stuff just to show you eventually kind of what you'll be going on to. But I can pretty much show you anything you want, to be fair. There's like if anything takes your interest, then I'll do my best to help. And then yeah, go from there really. If you don't want to talk or you don't want to show your face, it's not an issue. There is a chat option at the bottom. I'll put that up now. So if you guys have got any questions, you can just put something in the chat. I'll see it and then I'll be able to answer it. And then this is it. Like I kind of never had anything like this when I first started trading and I started learning. So this has been a massive help to kind of new people as they've joined. So it's all good. Any questions, guys, fire away. Otherwise, let's go on to, I'm just trying to think, right, let's go on to trading view. And kind of actually, before we go on to anything, is there anything anyone wants me to go over? That's probably the best bet, because I'm doing this for you guys. So is there anything in particular that you want me to cover or just talk about?
Shaun, it was just
go on, mate.
I suppose for me it was I've been learning, you know, the simple strat. And,
oh shit. Right, I don't know how he does it. I haven't followed it, but go on. I'll do my best.
And I've got to grips with it.
Okay.
I've got an IC market account thing, and then I got the MT4 account. Thing, well, not only thing, but one of the things I'm kind of, you know, when they put the stop loss and the take profit, you know, like they have the green box and the red box, and they set that on TradingView. I'm like,
okay, right. Let me, I know what you mean. I think I know what you mean. Let me share screens with you, and you can tell me if I'm way off or if we're on the right track. So, okay, so I'll let you know now. I haven't done Mapp strategy. That's his bad boy, and I've spent years learning what I know. I then didn't want to go and learn something else because it could fuck up what I already know. Sometimes you can learn too much. There's a quite in-depth trading strategy. It's not even really a strategy. It's just how the markets move, but it's called the Wyckoff, and it's quite in-depth. And I've never learned it just simply because I worry that if I learned Wyckoff, I may see Wyckoff in like a setup, and the Wyckoff could be saying something totally different to kind of what I'm thinking. It could fuck me up. so I just bear that in mind as you go through these strategies. Take little bits from all of them, and then kind of to an extent you kind of make your own strategy and kind of make what works for you. But ultimately, once you start kind of nailing it, then just kind of limit yourself to like loads of different strategies. Because when I first started doing this, we went through so many and like loads didn't work for us. But then once we found something that did, we just kind of stuck with it. And that's what we've done for the last few years. So, okay. So what I think you mean is, so this is, well, let's put it on the 15-minute chart. Okay. So you can see here, so we've got obviously greens are your buys, purples are your sells. If you're looking at, I don't know, say for instance, like me looking at this now, I'd be looking at like this area here as like a potential reaction. And the reason for that is because the way I trade, I kind of use order blocks and kind of bankers candles and stuff. So this is like a little order block area. So I'd be expecting price to kind of react off of this level. So do you mean that like you put these in and then just change the color of them? So that would be your green entry, and the red one would be your stop loss. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, kind of. So you've got your entry, which is like pending, and then
Yeah, so you can have like so the way it works is you get a sell stop and a buy stop. So let me get my so you get like sell limits, buy limits, sell stops, buy stops. So the way these work is pretty much, and this is once again, hopefully this is kind of what you mean. You got price that comes up here, and then what happens is you then have a sell limit on this green line. So a sell limit is when price goes through your order, and then you're live. As soon as it goes through it, you're live, right? So what you're then hoping is before it hits you out, it pulls back on itself, comes back through, and you're from that point you're in profit. So once it kind of, so that's your sell limit, and it goes, and obviously it works the same way, the opposite way. So if you're kind of working your way down and you've got it the opposite way around, a buy limit's the same as soon as it comes through. But a sell stop, the way a sell stop works is you would actually have price above, and then what you're doing is you're waiting for price to go past it, and then it automatically puts you in, and then you'd have your kind of stop loss above that. Is that what you mean, mate? Is that what you're asking?
yeah, pretty much. So you've got your stop loss and you take profit.
Yeah, so you take profit. So this is your entry. So stop loss, entry, and then say for instance, ideally let me have a look at this one. Yeah, so we're in a downtrend at the moment. Okay, so we've created equal lows down here. So one of the ways that I learned, guys, and what I use massively in my trading is a thing called quarter theory. So quarter theory are like major support and support and resistance levels within the market. And then what I do is I use that to my advantage. Let me TQI2, which one is it? Tradesman Quartz Indicator. It's a TCQ, I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay, so this is it here. So I've had this made by a good friend, Paul, in the group. He's made various indicators for me over the years. This is another one. So these lines I haven't randomly put in. These lines are major support and resistance levels that the banks adhere to. And as you can see, if I take this off here, like those two lines that I put on, you can see how much the banks respect these lines. And what I meant by there, as soon as I looked down this level, I was like, yeah, it's created equal lows on this major level. So this 8,000 level. So where these are is, so these red ones, they're your 100 pips. So what you can do is you've got a tape measure on the corner here. So what you can do is you can click on that, move it up, and it tells you, yeah, you've got 100 pip there. So you can like measure how many pips, say your trade's gone or something like that. The green ones are your 25 pips. So you've got your 25, your blue is your 50, and then you've got another 25 at 75. So what I generally do is if I'm trading, depending on what style of trading I decide to do, I generally trade just within these. So if I'm looking at, say, equal lows and kind of prices come in, it's totally reacted off this equal low, I will generally just go up to this one, because if you put if you do trade equal highs, equal lows, which you can do, you just need to be wary that the banks do this on purpose to build consolidation, because then what happens is they'll take you out on both sides and they'll collect liquidity. So you need to be aware that when equal highs and equal lows are created, the banks will eventually go above and below them to collect the money, the orders that have been put here in place. Okay, so sorry, this is like a newbie session, so I apologize if I kind of go a bit in depth, but hopefully it will help you overall. But if you look at this kind of trade here where prices come down, you would have your entry pretty much just above this quarter theory level, because a lot of the time price doesn't always hit the quarter theory. It'll kind of hit like maybe a few pips before. So just to make sure you get in the trade, you'd have like your entry here at like this level. Let me just put it in. So a little bit, yeah, say a little bit further down. But then what you then do in this scenario is you'd have your stop loss underneath the quarter theory. Because to me, when I think of quarter theory levels, I think of it as like a brick wall. So if price isn't strong enough, what happens is price won't break through. So then I think, right, okay, well, what I'm doing then is I've got like a barrier between price and my stop loss, and I'm protecting, in a way, I'm protecting my stop loss. So, and then as you can see, there's very little drawdown in that trade, and then you would then go. So obviously it's easy back testing. You can look amazing back testing. This is what you've got to be wary of. So when you're actually doing it live and you're kind of working out where price is, you kind of need to know where you believe price is going. And this is kind of, this to me has created equal lows in this scenario here, because what will happen is price could come up to one of these order blocks here. It wouldn't surprise me if it's, and what I mean by order blocks for you guys that don't know is, order blocks are pretty much, say, your last up candle before like a significant down move, and vice versa. So if you look here, you've got like this last up candle, this green one, before a move, and then you've got like little ones here, but you've got ones that are more significant than others. As you can see here, this candle here, and then it's reacted off of the quarter theory level, and then it's gone down. So a lot of the time you get like reactions off of these, but what will happen is, especially when you go down onto the 1 minute, is price will always knock into these levels. And this I'll show you quickly now. So as you can see here, we've come down. We've got this order block area here. You see that green and purple next to each other. Price has gone further down, and look, bang, it's gone straight back into it. Okay. And that's what it does all day long into that quarter theory. So I just changed the color of that. So what you can do is, when you're trading the 1 minute, you can use this to your advantage. Like I do a lot of 1 minute trading. It's the same here. If I move this line up here, so that's the high. So you can see it's reacted off of the quarter theory level. And once again, price has come down, it's broken structure. So what I mean by that is, you can see here, this is like your kind of last lower high, this level here. And then we've had that break of structure. It's pulled right into that candle there. So you could technically have had at the end of that wick, you could have had your entry. You've got your quarter theory level there. So you'd put your stop loss just above that, just to kind of cover it, just to protect it. And then, as you can see, very little drawdown. Price is nipped into the 1 minute order block, and then we've had that massive move down. So if you're risking 1% on that, so let's have a look and see what that would have been. Short position. So this thing here, you get like a short and long position. So your long is your buys and your shorts are your sells. And what this does is this works out your risk to reward. So if you were to risk like 1% on this, and then taking this down to here, as far as it went, you're looking at like a 9.2. So if you had 100K funded account and you risked $1,000 on it, which is your 1%, that move there on the 1 minute would have made you 9.2K, $2,000. So by the time they've taken their bit off it, and kind of you converted it back to GBP, you're probably looking about 5-6 grand for that move. And that move started, let's have a look. That move started at 1934 and it finished at 20:08, so 34. So yeah, just under an hour. And you've kind of made that. It's just, yeah, it's fucking scary. But you've got to be aware of these things, and this is kind of what we teach you guys within here, is to kind of read stuff like this and find stuff like this. And this is I know this is a bit over your head for newbie stuff, but this is kind of what ultimately I want to get you guys to, this kind of level. I'm just going to go through the questions quickly. Can you go over the quarters, please? Yeah, of course can. Yeah, as a newbie, what do we need to download first to start trading? Okay, so IC markets, I would say. There's a lot of forex groups that what they're fuckers, what they'll do is they'll kind of get you to sign up to a broker, and they'll give you like a referral code. Some of them even tell you to kind of use their account or to an extent, and then what they do is they make a percentage off of your like wins and losses, and it's a load of fucking bollocks. Like, I won't give you any referrals. That you guys can use IC markets. The reason that we've used IC markets is they're regulated in Australia. They're a regulated company. Connor, who's been in the group for, well, since the beginning, really. Connor joined back in early 2020. He started off with 250 quid. I think he's at 100 grand now, just over 100 grand last time I spoke to him, and that was about a month ago. He grew it over 2 years, compounding it, and yeah, he's got a fully funded, well, it's not a funded account, it's his own account. It's 100k. He's got 6 figures in it now, and he's only like 24. It's fucking, yeah, he's left his job. Everything is it's quite funny. He was his boss was telling him that he would never make it work, and then when he handed his notice in, he's like, where are you going to work? He's like, I'm not, I'm done. He's like, that's it, there's my notice. So he's like, I told you. And his boss was like, fuck. Yeah, and he just fucked him off. So yeah, IC markets, guys. And then through that, what you can do is you just sign up, go for an MT5 account. The reason that we do MT5 is MT4 is getting pretty old now. It's been around for roughly about 17 years, and everything's moving on to MT5. So it's just faster. It's just an upgraded version of MT4. And then you can do it on here. So get a demo account, set up an MT4, MT5 account, whichever one you want to. Most funded people now, like most prop firms, they only accept MT5, so it is probably best to just do an MT5, and then just, yeah, practice. You don't need to spend any money. Don't put any real money into anything yet, not while you're learning. Just take it steady, get used to how the markets move, and like how to risk manage and stuff like that. And then eventually, if you do, you've got a couple of options. So what you can do is stick a couple $100 in and grow the couple £100, or you can spend like $50 or 50 quid and get a 2.5 grand account, a funded account, and try and pass that. What I would say to you is there's like a belief that if you put like a grand in, you'll be able to do a better job than what you would do if you put only 200 quid in, and it's a load of bollocks. You'll just lose the grand. If you can't grow a £200 account up to say £400, £500, there's no way that you're going to be able to grow a 1 grand account up to like 10, 15 grand. It doesn't work like that. All that will do is you'll just lose that grand. You'll spank it. So don't put large amounts of money in. There's really no need to. So yeah, use prop firms money. It's less risk. Hopefully that answers your question, mate. So yeah, this would be IC markets, and then you want TradingView to do your analysis on. And then what you want to do is, once you've gone through, if I just show you guys now, I have done a must-see video, just so you guys can see, but as I'm kind of on here, I'll just quickly show you. And then I'll go on to the next question in a second. Yeah, so obviously you want to work your way through the education. And then I really do recommend that you go balls deep into the simple strategy. They're doing really well in there. It's mechanical, so there's strict rules and it's easy to follow, and the support in there is amazing as well. So there's a lot of new people. Pretty much as soon as they're coming in, they're getting on the education, they're getting on the newbie sessions, then they're going on to the simple strategy, and then Matt's doing live sessions on that weekly as well. So start off with a simple strategy, and then over time, there's definitely no harm in kind of delving into the bankers and supply and demand, but initially start off with the simple stuff and get used to that. And then what you can do then from there is you can then learn how the banks move money in the market and stuff, and then you can use that to your advantage while doing the simple strategy, because you can be a little bit picky with trades because you recognize that prices move to this level for a reason, and you believe that it's going to turn, and it can just help. So hopefully that helps, mate. As a newbie, start trading. Also, I see on the results page, is it an app people are using when they post their results? Yeah, so on the results page, what most people do, I don't use MT4, MT5 on my laptop. I do everything off my phone. It's easier off your phone. The only downside is for you guys that have got iPhones, their iPhone has stopped people using MT4 and MT5. There is a way around it. Reese in the group has been helping people with iPhones get it still. But if you're Android, it's absolutely fine. But if you're iPhone, then just let Reese know. And that's probably what you're seeing. They're probably just, let me go to the results. Let's have a look. Also, you can mute these chats. So if you find that there's bits in here that you really aren't using and they're kind of not relevant to you, then you can just mute it. And then how you mute is, I've got to do this now. I see I've got all of them open. Yeah, there you go. So you just right click on it, mute category, and then you can mute it, and then you can just turn it back on. So what will happen is your phone won't be going mental because someone said something in a chat that you're not even following. So yeah, that should help a lot. So yeah, that there, for instance, that's a screenshot of someone's mobile. And then most of them do that, to be fair. Like Jason obviously with his fucking daily wins of like 1,600 quid. He does it all off. He's got an iPhone, and he posts his results in there pretty much daily. Some people don't like to post a lot because it puts pressure on them to then, because the thing is, if you have, like, say, a really good week and you're smashing it, and then you've made a fair bit of money, and then you don't have a lot, and say at the end of the week people are like, oh, or say you've gone quiet the following week, people are like, oh, how's your trading going? You can put like extra pressure on yourself to kind of to always perform, in a sense. So just, there's a lot of people that don't always post their results, and it doesn't mean that they're not doing well. It's just that they don't want people knowing what they're doing because they don't want that added stress, which is understandable. But I think with Jason, obviously he helps me run the company, so it kind of helps that he kind of shows what can be achieved because it's realistic. I definitely find that if I show loads of results all the time, I generally have a bad spell where I struggle because I just put being like the head of it, and people kind of looking to me. If then I always worry that if they think I can't do it, then they won't be able to do it. And it's definitely down to the individual, but the last thing I want to do is kind of, that for me is massive pressure. So I just get on with it and I just trade. So hopefully that explains that. Still can't figure out how you go into profit. Still can't figure out how you go into profit on a downturn. So what I think you mean is so the way you got to look at it, right, is there's two currency pairs, right? And what you're doing is you're making a trade on the difference between those two prices, right? So what I mean by that is if you're going for, say, a sell, you believe that the US dollar will be weaker than the euro. So that's all you're doing. Okay, so you're kind of you're just believing that one is weaker than the other, and it's constantly fluctuating. Like 30-second, like I think on here I can go down to the 1 second, which is fucking crazy. So this is price on the 1 second, just to show you. So price is like constantly moving, it doesn't stop, right? And all you are is you're working out where the banks are taking price, and then you're kind of using that to your advantage to get into these trades. I teach quarters, mate. Quarters was one of the main things I was doing. There is some quarters education on the website. If you go onto the website and sign in, I have got some on there. I did stop doing quarter theory sessions just simply because I wasn't really getting anyone on, because once you kind of know the basics of quarter theory, it's pretty easy. But quarter theory, it's not really a strategy as such. I just use quarter theory to help me kind of get in and out of trades, because you need to be aware of these kind of levels. And then what I'll do then is I'll just kind of use that to my advantage when I'm in a trade, or when I'm looking to get into a trade. I'm like, okay, price is struggling to break through this level. What else is around? There's a low here. Okay, it's going to create an equal low potentially, because then what price could do is react off like an order block here. It could come down here, take liquidity here, reverse on itself, then come up here. And that's what it could do. And then it's collected liquidity both sides then. So like, and you'll learn this over time. So yeah, there's a little bit of education on the actual website, mate. If you're struggling to find it, I don't think I'm logged in, but I'll put some screenshots in. Which leader in the group teach quarters can use MT5 on a Mac? You can't use MT4 or MT5 on a Mac, mate. You have to download an app. I'm not very good with computers. Dan Carter can help with that, mate. But yeah, a MacBook isn't going to be any good for anyone. If you want to put MT4 or MT5 on it, it just won't work. And then you've got MetaTrader. Is that the platform? Okay, cool. Nathan's put, yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, simple strategy, 100% for beginners. If you started again, what would you do differently, and what advice would you give to us starting off? I lost a lot of money when I first started. I used real money pretty much from the offset, even when I was learning, because I was a twat. So this is why we kind of say to you now, and then also we didn't have prop firms back then. They're like, no one had funded accounts because it just wasn't a thing. So I wasn't on demo long enough, and I didn't. It was kind of really weird because for anyone that's kind of been in close from the start, at one point when the group was a lot smaller, I was the only one doing live sessions. So I really started getting really good at trading when I started doing live sessions. I think it kind of, because it held me accountable, I just picked it up really quick, because generally I'm really shit with computers, like Excel and stuff like that. I still can't do. I don't go near computers. I'm awful. And kind of what I struggled with is like I didn't have this when I started. I was in a group, but the setup wasn't like this. And looking at what you guys have now, what I had, it just, yeah, this is the reason I've kind of known what I've known from the beginning, and thinking, God, this would have been really helpful back then, has made it better now, because you guys, like, we spent 6 to 8 months just trying to find a strategy that worked. Like, we were in lockdown, like we couldn't work. So it just kind of, yeah, we weren't in a rush really, but at the same time we made a lot of mistakes because we were trying things that were just a load of shit. But you have to go through shit to then come out the other side and actually find something decent. And that's kind of what we had accomplished with this. And this is why it's nice for you guys now that come in. You've saved yourself months already just by going straight to the simple strategy, because it's like 80% accurate. And as long as you've got good risk management and you've got a decent bit of mindset, you can actually do really well on it. So yeah, advice wise, I would say just, yeah, don't use real money. Don't compare yourself to others. So you may notice that some people join the same time as you, and in a month's time, 6 weeks time, they've picked it up really quickly. They're doing really well, and you feel that you haven't come as far as them. It doesn't matter, because it's like anything. It's like you doing, I don't know, you gas safe. You're going to have a fucking classroom full of 30 or different gas engineers or plumbers, and you're all going to be at different levels. And it's exactly the same with this. You've just got to take your time, and also consistency is key. So it's better for you to do 30 minutes a day while you're having a shit than do 4 hours on a Sunday because you haven't got round to doing it through the week, because there's only so much you can take in at a time. So you do 4 hours of education, you're only going to remember like 30 minutes, 40 minutes of it, if that. So you've then just wasted the rest of your Sunday watching stuff that you're not going to retain. Whereas if you do a little bit daily, it's like going to the gym, innit? You're not going to get that good results going to the gym once a week. Whereas if you go 5-6 times a week and do little and often, it's more effective. And it's the same with this. And that's it really. I'd like, it's a good question. Sorry, did someone talk? Sorry.
Yeah, I just said thank you for responding to that.
Oh, question. Yeah, no, it's all right. Yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, it's a good question.
I've lost a bit of money because I got like signals, you know. That's how I started off getting into Forex and sort of understood what it was.
Right.
Put money in, and obviously lost it. So that's when I got recommended this group of someone else. So I actually learned how to trade Forex instead of just trying to take signals off someone else. Like.
Yeah, see, I've definitely noticed over the last few years, Forex has massively kind of come up in kind of in the space in general. Like when I saw a guy in 2017, he was a builder actually. He done a paid ad with Forex, and that's how I got into it, because I saw his video on Facebook. It just come up, and I was like, what the fuck is Forex? And I kind of like watched his video. But then I was just too skeptical. I was like, oh, no, it sounds like bullshit. And he was like, he didn't look dodgy or anything. I just didn't really believe him. And then I added him as a friend, and I watched him for like 2 years. And then in 2019, I just said to the wife, I was like, look, I'm just going to give this a go. And she's like, that's fine. And to be fair, the risk wasn't massive. I think it was going to cost me like a few £100 to get set up. So I was like, okay. And I just haven't looked back. And I kind of, the group that he was in, once TFT really started building, I just kind of moved away and just focused on tradesmen, because they had a mixture of people, and yeah, we'd got very clicky with the tradesman lot, so we just decided to do our own thing. And now I see Forex, and I do think people definitely since lockdown are just looking at making money outside of work, because so many people got fucked over during lockdown. They were like, if it weren't for the government giving out grants and shit, there were so many people that were were losing businesses, and obviously the rich were fucking reaping it, but like the average person was really struggling. So now, like, I don't think it will happen again. I don't think we would accept it, but if something similar did happen, I don't need to worry now, because I've got this to fall back on, and there's many others within the group that'll be like, fuck, okay, I can't work, I'm just going to put 100% effort into this, and then have a steady stream coming in from this. And I think that's it's been adopted a lot more now than what it was when I first got into it, which is kind of nice, to be fair, because when I first started the group and I was kind of promoting it in different tradesman groups, I was getting so much fucking abuse. Like daily I was getting called a cunt and a fucking scammer and all sorts, and now I don't really get that, especially within the trial group. But yeah, even if I post stuff in like various groups, you get the odd comment, but no, it's a lot more renowned now than it was a few years ago, definitely. But I've never gone down the signals route, like, because signals weren't a thing either back then. I wasn't even really aware of signals, so I just kind of went straight into the education side and wanted to learn for myself. And yeah, I could never do signals for people. It's too much stress. Like I don't mind losing my money. I'm happy with that. But I couldn't sleep at night losing other people's money. It doesn't sit right with me. So the signal side of stuff is never been an interest whatsoever, because as you hear, most people lose money with signals, and it just kind of fucks them over. And then they have then a bad opinion of Forex. So it's not good. Cool. Is there anything else you guys want me to look at? Like if you're going through the newbie stuff, obviously you're going to be going through trends and various bits and bobs. I can, just to let you know, this indicator, so all the indicators that you guys want to see and want to use in the indicator section, then you just need to fill out the form. So once you've downloaded TradingView, you'll have like a username for your TradingView. You'll just need to put that in on the form, and then you can get it. What I'll do is I'll show you quickly like a strategy. We don't really do it anymore, but I'll show you the indicator for it just so you know what it is, because you'll see it and you'll go, what the fuck is that? But where's the indicator? I should really know. Where is it? Indicator access form. Where's that one? Is it at the top? No, it's at the top. Where is it? Oh yeah, there we go. In indicator request form. So in there, these are the forms here that you just need to fill out. So the TCQ is that one. The TQI is this. I'll show you what the TQI. This is the tradesman quartz indicator. So I'll just get rid of this quickly. So I use this to kind of get an extra confirmation. And once again, this has been this has helped me with trading and kind of getting kind of trades done and stuff. So the way that this works is I use this in line with the quarter theory, and I'm looking for reactions off of these levels, and then I'm using this then to kind of help me get in and out of trades. So the way it works is pretty much, let's have a look at what I use. Let's do it on NZD/USD. Okay, NZD/USD, there we go. Okay, so there's one here. So yeah, I just generally trade between the quarters, but the way this works is these blue lines, they're known as Bollinger Bands, and then when price has like extreme movements, Bollinger Band will widen and come back in, and it will kind of always go in and out. These here, so the pinky purple one is when price comes out of the Bollinger Band. And then when you get the crossover of these two, you'll get the green one. So the green one is ultimately when we're looking to get in that trade. So what I mean by that is, if you look here, if I line this up, you can see here how prices come up. It's reacted and it's struggled to break through this quarter theory line. So at that point, as it's breaking through, I then decide to get in a sell here. So just to show you guys, if this is my sell, settings, green, That's my sell. I'd have my stop loss probably above those wicks, depending on how tight I wanted it. But even then, you're looking, that's like 9 pip stop loss. Probably wouldn't even need it that big, to be fair. But just as an example, oh shit, sorry, what's that? Just have it roughly here, because you'd have it, you'd bearing in mind, you know the quarter theory level is there. So, and then what you're doing then is you're just following it down to the next level, and that's it. And that's all I used to do. So you'd then get it. So we know that's the major level there. It's broken through, and then it's gone down to the 75 level just below it. So at that point, you've probably doubled your money, maybe got a 1 to 2, maybe a 1 to 2.5, maybe a 1 to 3. But within what, 15 minutes, so like what, 45 minutes, you're done. And that's your trade. So if you've risked 1% here, you've made roughly 2.5, maybe 3% there, roughly. And that's all I used to do. So I used to use this strategy to help me get in and out of trades. And you've got to be super picky. You can't go for every green one. Things have to line up, but when they line up, it's generally a pretty good trade. And then I'll then use the quarter theory. Like there's another one here. You can see prices coming back up through. This is coming here. And this is what I used to do. So you can see here it's coming, and you just put your stop loss under there and just follow it up. And I used to teach this, but then people got bored of it. Better things come along. So yeah, I just stopped teaching it, because I was only getting like 1 or 2 people on my lives. So either that, or I'm just a really shit teacher and people just didn't want to listen to me. But yeah, so that's the TQI for you guys, just in case you see the form and you wonder what it is. Is there any questions? No? Let me just, there is some questions down there. Let's have a look. Thanks, mate. I'll take a look. Cool. Thanks. Is Reese the best person to talk to? Yeah. Are you trading view and IC markets? Okay. And Mac, we said about that. Trading view is a web browser, so all good. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Trading view is fine, mate. It's the MT4 and MT5. You could do, I think you could do C Trader. C Trader is like another platform. The only downside is the FTMO are the only ones that accept C Trader on a funded account, whereas all the others don't. So it's just making you aware. But C Trader is actually really good. I do like this setup of C Trader. But yeah, most prop firms don't use it. That's right. I'm just checking time. Okay. Is there any other questions, guys? Is there anything specifically you want to go over? So I know there's some people that have just joined, like probably in the last couple of days. Is there any worries you've got, or concerns, or expectations, anything like that you want to kind of go over? Because
I've got a quick question.
Yeah, go on, mate.
Just sort of, obviously, I think I joined just over the weekend, but obviously in my head it's sort of buy low and then sell high. Now you gave the example about you did the workings out of that you'd make about, say, 5-6 grand on that one trade. But that was obviously starting at the top and going to the bottom. Now I've only worked my way through a little bit of the education, but how are you selling something that you don't have? Or
because you're selling it against the price of the other currency, because the price of the currencies against each other are constantly changing. Okay, so what you're working out is you're saying, so if you're say the price is high, and then you think that the price will go down, what you're saying is the euro will suddenly become stronger than the US dollar. So the US dollar is going to go down, and the euro is going to go up. So what you're doing is you're kind of, people find this really difficult, especially from a crypto background, because you only make money in like on crypto when you buy stuff if it goes up, whereas with the forex market you make it both ways, because you can put buys and sells on. To be fair, psychologically most people put sells on. I think it's quite a high percentage. I think it's roughly around 80% of traders sell, whereas very few buy. I think it's a psychological thing. So I know there's a couple of people within the group that only mainly do one, or you'll find actually as you get used to it, you'll do one more than the other. You'll feel more comfortable selling rather than buying. But yeah, pretty much what you're doing is you're looking at like these areas that price are in, and then you're like, okay, so this is kind of, let me find an example. Bitcoin's been really good, actually. I've been watching Bitcoin the last few days, and Bitcoin on the 1 minute is gorgeous. So let me take that off. Let me go to the 1 minute. So this is really nice. It moves really nice. So look, look here, right? So this is Bitcoin against the Tether US, and then what you're doing is you're kind of, one second, let me get a better picture of it. Yeah. So there you go. So like this here, for instance, right? So you've got price that's come down here. Price is knocked up into this order block here and carried on going down. Okay. And then we've kind of got this low here, which is tapped into this order block area here. And then it's reacted up. Okay. And then it's carried on going down. And then it's reacted into this order block area here. Do you see across there? Let me get this so you can see. I'll put these on so you guys can see, just to give you an idea of stuff where it happens. And it happens all the time once you see it. And like once you kind of recognize this and you kind of see it happening, it happens all the time. And then what you need to do is you then need to kind of work out which ones are better than others. And that will kind of come with a bit of experience. But you can see here, prices come down, pulled up into that order block here, and then we've had that reaction down, and then it's carried on going up. So generally what happens is, on an uptrend, is price will always kind of pull back down into these order block areas. You see this little purple one here? Yeah. That little order block? Yeah, look, price is pulled right back into it, right on that line. Like pinpoint accuracy, straight onto it. I don't know if that's, one sec, let's see if that works. I don't think it'll do it over that one, so let me, oh, what's it doing now? Come on. Sorry, yeah, shit. Yeah, there we go, it's a bit delayed. Let me remove that. Yeah, there you go, straight into it. Boom. Then we've had that move up. Okay, and then prices move down into this order block here. Boom, straight into that order block. Then we've had that massive, push up. So once you recognize this stuff and you understand how it works, you can then set up trades, and then yeah, it just does it all the time. So then you can just pick stuff out and then decide what you want to do, like this one here. And it's great for scalping, especially on the 1 minute. Let me just make this higher so you can see. And this is where, if you do scalp, this is where you can't be greedy. Like you can, because you can get pretty tight stop losses on this, but you don't obviously know how far it's going to go down. Like it depends on like the direction and everything. But on the 1 minute, it can break structure all the time. So like on the larger time frames, you can see like clear break of structures. You can see uptrend, downtrend. On the 1 minute, there's constantly break of structures where price is being kind of mitigated, it's known as, and kind of price is being collected by the banks or whales or whatever, or the institutions or whatever. So you can kind of see, but yeah, you can see like this order block here, and then you can notice that as it goes down, order blocks are being filled. So then what you want to do then is kind of look for the last order block that hasn't been filled. So you've got that tiny little order block there. Prices come down, nipped into this order block. So that one's taken. That one's no good anymore. Okay. And it's come down, nipped into this one here. So just to the bottom of it. And it's nipped it a couple of times. And then we've had a reaction down. Once again, it's gone down, back up into that order block, moved down, back up into that order block. Do you see what I mean? So it kind of like pulls into it all the time. And it's really weird when you get a bit more experience with trading, you're going to get to like a eureka moment where you'll just see stuff. And this is kind of like, this is like pure naked trading. There's no indicators on this. This is just kind of understanding price and kind of what markets do, and then you're just using that. So I don't use TradingView to trade anymore. I just have my phone. That's all I do, and I just look at order blocks. I look at structure, and then I just put trades in, and that's ultimately what I want to get you guys to. And that's kind of what you really want to be aiming for long term. And it's not a quick thing. but it's definitely doable. As you can see here, price has come down, gone up, nipped into that, and then we've just had like a massive drop. So yeah, but then you look at this on the 4 hour, and this is kind of really kind of due a drop, to be fair, because it's been pissing about all day. But you can see here, like this is, you can see here how much it is. So we've got, there's a thing called, fuck knows where that come from. There's a thing called imbalance, and imbalance is when price just goes one way, and imbalance needs filling. So there is an imbalance indicator that Paul's got. What is it? It's the order block indicator, I think it's that. So this is this indicator here is made by Paul, and it's a paid indicator. I think it's 25 quid for the indicator for like lifetime access. But what it'll do is it does various things for like smart money, which doesn't, I don't know if it works on crypto, but on forex pairs it's good. But just to give you an idea, all these yellows need filling, and it's just kind of showing you that. So price at some point needs to fill all of this yellow, and then once it fills this yellow on the way down, there's going to be more yellow from whatever's happened. So if I go on to, what is that on? That's on the 4 hour. If I go on to, so Euro USD is the most traded pair in the world. It's the most popular pair, and to be fair, it respects really, really nicely. So what you can do is you can kind of gauge. You can see there's loads up here, and that's just me just zooming out a little bit, but just to give you an idea. So when you're like, once again, I bet you that's on a major quarter level. You can see it's created an equal high there perfectly. So there'll be a reaction off of this. It may come down to like this level, and it may come back up, but at the moment we've kind of broken structure here. So it may pull down maybe into this level here. So what you'd be doing is you'd be looking at like these key levels here, and you'd be expecting price to come down maybe into like one of these order blocks before carrying on up. But then you can also, I could go into supply and demand and all sorts, but I just don't want to blow your mind, so I won't go too crazy. But yeah, that's the general gist of it. But what you're doing is you're predicting that one currency is stronger than the other at that time, and then what you're doing is you're either buying or selling it. And then the best way to kind of think of this is if you go into like Asda and you go to there, some Asdas have like a currency little store. If you buy $100 of if you buy $100 and then you go to America, and then you're away in America for a week and you don't spend that $100, but then you decide to change it back to GBP in America, you now might have 120 quid rather than 100 quid, or do you see what I mean? Or you may have 80 quid because the difference in price between the two. So this is ultimately what we're doing. We're kind of working out what we believe where price is going to go, and then we're then putting a buy or sell on it to make that profit, and then we're coming out of the trade. Does that help?
Yes, it made a little bit more sense, I think.
You'll get your head around it. You will, because I remember, have you looked into compounding yet? Because fucking compounding blew my mind. I started looking at compounding, and I was just like, fuck. Like, you compound 3% a day for a year on 100 quid. It's something like 1.1 million or something like that. It's fucking stupid. So yeah, it's unreal. So yeah, that's what I would say is just take your time with it, and don't beat yourself up on stuff that you don't fully understand yet, because it does come. It just, yeah, we just go all different paces. But this is recorded anyway. I don't want to go too long because people won't watch it otherwise, but I'll stick it in the newbie section for the people to watch again, or yeah, for you guys to watch it or whatever. And then hopefully you found the session handy. But definitely try and, like, it's Dean's birthday today, so obviously he's not going to be on, but try and get on Dean's sessions later on in the week. And then yeah, there's no harm jumping on the more in-depth ones either. You can go on as many as you want, it doesn't matter. And ask questions. Make sure you ask questions. Don't kind of just sit there thinking to yourself a question and then yeah, don't answer, because we can't help you if we don't know you're struggling. That's all I'd say.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
No worries, mate. It's all good. Cool. I don't think there's any more questions that have come out. So, okay, if there's no more questions, guys, then I will. Yeah, I'll leave you guys to it. I've got to somehow find where the fuck the Zoom thing is. I think I found it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, is everyone happy? And no more questions before I go.
Cheers,
yeah.
Shaun.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, have a good evening, and I'll catch you soon.
See you, mate.
Take it easy. Bye bye.